Mr. Gary Collins.
Well, aside from helping someone out there who may go through or have been through a stroke, what about just the line, old age ain't for sissies? I mean, how can we help people? Because we're living longer, and we're going to be around for much longer than we thought. I mean, how can we enter our 70s and 80s and make them as vital and as productive as you have?
Well,
Do you think having a career?
I think that I am the most fortunate, yes, that having a career, having some work to do, I think is the best way to get through it. Not retiring, that would be the end. Keep on with the same thing you love as long as possible. That I think is the one way it can be helped getting into the 70s and 80s, and we won't discuss the 80s. I have a very short time to go.
1 year.
1 year.
Is that going to be
I always say if God takes up my option, I'll be around at 80. Yes. I don't know if I'm too anxious to be around at 80.
Yeah. Will that be accompanied by any fanfare, turning 80?
Well, turning 70, I wore a black face all over my face, black afro wig, black clothes, had a funeral wreath on my front door, and that is how I celebrated my 70s. That seemed pretty awesome. Every 10 is awesome. Mm-hmm. Now, the first 10 that was awesome to me was 30. I thought that was the end. Little did I know. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. All right, that brings us, if you had known, what's that wonderful line, if I known I was going to live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself. I mean, if you had known at 30 you were going to be around to 80, would you have done something different?
No, I don't think so. I was just accepted the inevitable, I guess, and hoped that I coped well with it.
What do you
and
want?
That was the wonderful part of having children. I was such a lucky woman, career and children. And then you sort of grow up with them, and in my case, that was a terrific help getting older. Right.
Now, any interviewer worth his salt would ask you a question about your children, but I know that you have chosen not to speak about it, and we certainly respect your wishes. I would like to know, what would Bette Davis like to be remembered for?
I think that she was a good actress.
She sure was.
Certainly not that I was a good mother, because I'd had proven in one case I must have been absolutely a horror. So being the mother thing is very variable, very variable.
Mm-hmm. You've been on many interview shows. You've talked a great deal about your life, your career. We've spent 5 days discussing Bette Davis, this and that.
For which
Out of all of the interviews...
I thank you for your endurance for 5 days.
Well, yours as well. But I'd like to know... I'd like to know, is there something that someone might not have asked you? Is there something that you've always wanted to say? Is there something that you would like to leave us with, that you may not have the opportunity to say again?
Oh, I wish I could think of something. It's a wonderful question.
Perhaps just something you've wanted to say and never had the opportunity. As I don't know if you're like me, but every time I do an interview, not sitting here, but sitting where you are, I always walk off and say, I wish I'd said that, or I wish I'd remembered that.
You often wish when it's all over. That's right, that you said something. But I can't think of it now. I'll call you. That's a good excuse. I'd love to call you anyway. Are you happily married?
I don't know. I am very happily married, but you can expect some gardenias tonight, Miss Davis.
Have you children?
Yes.
How many children?
I've got 3 children. 22 and a half, and 21 and a half, and 18 and a half.
I think that's the most wonderful thing in the world, bringing up children.
It certainly is.
It's the most fun watching them blossom and get older. Yes, and then they get older. That's right. They do.
And older and older.
And older and older.
You know. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, no, I
these
enjoyed
5
it
days.
with you, honestly.
It's truly been a pleasure.
Thanks for
And it's
all the homework you did.
Thank you. Miss Bette Davis.
So much pleasure. And she will star with Jimmy Stewart in a film which will be on home box office later this year. And to add to her many achievements, I don't know whether you knew this or not, she made an album in England in 1976, which apparently is again available in record stores, called Miss Bette Davis Sings. Would you welcome, please, Miss Bette Davis.
That's the way they feel.
Johnny,
Yes, ma'am.
this is a red rose. It has a lot to do with Valentine's Day. You are not forced to be my Valentine. I'm not asking that of you. Also, this is to thank you for the night I was ill and couldn't come. And you made it very clear, you and Mr. Sheehan, that I was ill, as indeed I was. And I finally realized you have a hit show. I really got so many get well cards from your show.
That's
you
great.
do not believe it. And any of you who sent me some of those, oh, I do thank you very much.
Well, isn't
Happy
that